No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Melodrama upon melodrama! This is a totally shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense!
Because he was miles off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all the time.
No problem.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast. No movie today. Something even more exciting than Mean Machine happened. We had a final of international competition, a world competition, the Club World Cup, in which Chelsea were playing PSG. And look, I mean, FIFA and UEFA can make as many competitions as they want. Eventually Chelsea will win it.
Yeah, look, and get it out of the way early. The team that spent most money wins the trophies. That's the way it works. Let's establish that from day one.
Chelsea have the first club to win everything, and they do kind of collect these trophies fairly easily. You know, I feel if there was any other club in the Conference League this year, they would have fallen at the semi-final. There would have been an upset at some point. They would have blew it in the final. But just like the entire season, it's like when Chelsea were playing Shamrock Rovers, and they were playing remember who's the guy from Gooey?
Oh,
for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Never saw him again afterwards. He scored you know, they just have the squad depth, and then it's every hurdle you think, oh yeah, they're going to win this easily, and they did. I just think if that was anybody else, you know, they would have faltered. And then the thing with Chelsea is that they have a year where they do so badly that they qualify for the Conference League, and then you know they go and they beat PSG, you know, the best team anyone's ever seen, in a competition where they were, you know, pissing through everybody. It wasn't like this was, you know, oh yeah, well this is just a preseason for PSG. They were taking it seriously, you know, and Chelsea, you know, they beat the brakes off them.
It was so strange. Like we were saying last week, tough to glean what teams are trying and not trying. You could see in the final, everyone really wanted it. There was a tense affair. Everyone knew how much money was on the line for their clubs, and I'm sure big fat bonuses on the line as well. But yeah, it's where was this Chelsea, even though they won the Conference League, where was this Chelsea all season? Cole Palmer was not good in the league for the second half of the season this year.
Well, they did buy João Pedro in the middle of this competition.
That's true, it's 6 days ago maybe.
And he is a lot better than Nicholas Jackson.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't want to, you know, toot my own horn too much. There's plenty of that, plenty of time for that during the rest of the season. You know, we haven't even started it yet, really. In fact, technically, this is the end of last season. But I do remember a couple of years ago when we were doing this pod, because they bought João Pedro was bought by Brighton the same window, same year that Nick Jackson was bought by Chelsea. I think for the same money. I was like, that's not a good sign, because when Chelsea come knocking, you know, you're gonna try and bump up the value. So if you get him for 25 million, that means he's worth about 5.
Yes, correct.
And if Brighton are coming for your player, they've probably seen the value that you didn't see in him. You know, it's probably the opposite, if not bang on the money. And here we are now, a couple of years later, João Pedro is now replacing Nicholas Jackson, you know, at Chelsea. So I mean, I think he is a better player. He adds a lot more. I think Liam Delap came on as well, and he had a few chances. He looks like primed to be the kind of Good Johnson type player for them. If you know, João Pedro is their starting number 9, their Drogba, he's going to be Good Johnson. Oh fuck! Now this guy's going to come on. He's going to get a goal. I guess Nicholas Jackson would be Mutu in that situation, except they'll plant the cocaine on him so they can suspend him this time.
A non-cocaine Mutu, maybe.
But yeah, no, Chelsea seemed pretty good, Will. I mean, I don't know. PSG, who they beat last round? Real Madrid,
yeah.
Fairly easily. And then Inter Milan. Oh, no, that wasn't Inter Milan. No, I think maybe Man City beat Inter Milan. I mean, obviously, PSG beat Inter Milan in the Champions League final very easily. I'm just bringing up, Will, because I saw before the game a very funny quote. In any context, even though they've won, it's still a funny quote. Levi Colwill said before the game, you know, we're not Real Madrid or Inter.
Yeah.
As in, like, you know, if you didn't know football, like, yeah, I guess so, you know, but in this context, he's like, we're not going to be, you know, as easily beaten as the likes of your Real Madrids, your Inter Milans, you know, these jokers.
Not whipping boys like Real Madrid. We're a real team.
Yeah. I mean, what a generational or loss this has been for Real Madrid. When you think back to like when they were up against Arsenal and beforehand, everyone's like, this is going to be one of the best hate watches
Yeah.
in recent memory. You know, Arsenal fans going to get taken down a peg or two finally. And then since then, you got like Levi Colwill, who, I mean, he's a good player, but like, I don't know if he's going to make any FIFA 11 pros this year. You know what I mean? He's like, listen, we're not some jokers. You know, we're a real team.
This isn't Kylian Mbappe and co.
Yeah. Yeah, these aren't some fibers we're talking about here. This is Chelsea Football Club. Yeah, I mean, I guess the first moment in the game was the do-it chance, where you kind of think that could have been a goal, but I guess it wasn't. And then like what, Cole Palmer's got 2 goals, kind of got the same goal twice in the first half. Right after that,
and it was the goal that De Bruyne always used to score as well. Just the daisy cutter through 20 men in the box, right into the bottom corner where the keeper can't reach, and he just to do it twice, one after another. My God, this guy is amazing in a final as well.
It did seem fairly easily put away. I did see a lot of stats about long balls in this game. That the right backs were bombing forward and Chelsea were just like knocking over the top, and PSG had no answer for it. Do you think PSG, though, were kind of like, well, okay, another Premier League team? We've done this before. You know, like they beat City, Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Arsenal this year. And then, oh no, the Conference League winners are coming now to have a go.
6th or 5th or whoever placed Chelsea. No one even cared at the end of the season where they were.
And then Luis Enrique was like, no, don't be too complacent, guys. They just bought Liam Delap and Yao Pedro from Brighton and Ipswich, respectively. Like, we literally haven't even heard of those teams.
Liam Delap.
And they're all like looking blankly. It's like Roy Delap's son of Stoke. The long throws. Is anybody here? You know, is there any ball knowledge between the lottie?
Yeah, maybe that's what Enrique was so wrapped up in, what he was so enraged about. The lack of ball knowledge PSG had. It just became too much for him. And when all the handbags started, I mean, he had a go at Yao Pedro, which you can't do as a manager. You can't be like, you fucking, I'll kill you.
Yeah, it's because it was Donnarumma was there first. Big Donnarumma.
Totally. That's a keeper. Goalkeepers are allowed. That's like part of their thing. They're crazy.
Well, he was like, obviously he's 6'7", so it always looks like he's surrounded by people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So on the first glance, the first replay, it looks like maybe he's hit him. That Donnarumma is like, you know, mushed him or something. And like that Enrique's coming in to like break up, get his player out of there. But then on the reverse angle, you see it's actually Enrique who's gone to strangle Yao Pedro. Yao Pedro then just like muscle memory. Just go down the heap.
Get the manager
game's over,
sent
you've won.
off. Yeah.
So yeah, get a ban from this competition in 4 years' time. Like why would he go down like that? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't he just like get off me, old man? You know, I'll knock you out. No, but he goes straight down. He's thinking this will look good for the manager. The manager will like this. And then what's weird is that followed by Maresca, like decided maybe he already wanted to do this, but he grabbed Donnarumma in the Pep Guardiola. You're the greatest key goalkeeper in the world. Do you hear me? Yeah, I know they're both Italian, but I thought that was like, is this the time for that? Like, and then what's he saying? Like,
Come here, listen, come here. quick sidebar.
Yeah, like what's he saying to? Is he talking about the play? He's saying, don't mind Yo Pedro, don't mind him, man. You know, like, I don't know what he was talking to, because like Donnarumma was like, I think being respectful as possible. Maybe he was happy just to be, you know, taken away from that situation. Like, okay, maybe they won't blame me now because I'm deep in conversation. It couldn't have been me.
Maybe he was in tears at it all. He just couldn't. It's okay, man. It's okay.
But he gave him he gave him time to get his little rant down. Yeah. Cheers. All right, thanks, Enzo. And then like, I've never talked to the guy before in my life. Just because we're Italian doesn't mean we're friends. You know, just because we speak the same language, man. Although maybe, I don't know, maybe he's a coach of Milan. I don't know anything about that, so maybe they were. I don't know. I
saw Enrique had he kind of blamed Maresca a little bit. He's like, yeah, look, You don't want to see scenes like that, which is always funny when someone says that. It's like, you were in them, idiot. He's like, you don't want to see scenes like that. And he's like,
you want to be in them. You don't want to see them. You want to be in them.
He said,
you want to sit in the sidelines. Sorry.
He's like, a lot of players were, pushing and shoving. I saw Maresca pushing and shoving players. I was just trying to break it up. It's like, you fucking liar.
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of managers were touching a lot of people. That's all I saw.
Yeah, I wasn't the only manager out there. I won't say who it was. It was Enzo Maresca. That's who it was. Yeah, that was great. A great little bit of bite. Because when we were watching the game, it was 3-0 at halftime. And you kind of think, okay, right, what's going to happen in the second half? But it was so dead. Like every game I've watched, of the 3 games I've watched, Will, every single one.
That's big enough, yeah. But it's hot. And it's July.
I think so. I think that might be it. We're just we want to come back in this game, but I'm very, very tired. Yeah. And I'm very, very fatigued. There's not much that I can do physically to get back into this game. To get 4 goals in this half, that would be a hell of a feat after the half I just had.
Yeah, and it's funny as well, because we were saying, teams, they were definitely up for it. And maybe PSG they gave all they could give this season. But it is interesting to think, obviously, the clubs get so much money. Great for PSR. We get signed more players. But at the back of the players' minds, are they I'm dying to win this Club World Cup? Or are they well, the money's not really good. I already make the money, kind of. It's not like I'm going to get more.
I don't know. Maybe if the management and the ownership and because the owners were there after the game, they had the American model, or they had Todd Bowley, who is he a minority owner? Wasn't he just the pain sponge to soak up all the hate? Wasn't he?
I think that's his official title, yeah. This was, I will say, Todd Bowley winning the Club World Cup. This is right up his street. In America, the fireworks, all of it.
Oh yeah, this is made for him. And then beside him was Nasser Al-Khalifi. And then Gianni Infantino. And then Trump.
And then, of course, yeah.
It's hard to know which one they were booing, really.
A lot of people getting booed. A lot of nasty folks out there that people didn't like.
I mean, Trump, Gianni Infantino, Trump, Todd Bowley, and Nasser Al-Khalifi. I mean, talk about a nightmare blunt rotation. Dear God.
It's funny. It dawned on me as well during this when I saw the Trump. We'll get to it, but the Trump in the midst.
He has his own little segment. Folks, somewhere about that.
There's a lot of Trump coming up. But him in the midst of all the celebrations and, being the star guest and stuff, it just clicked with me. It's oh, this is sports washing for America. I was thinking it's in America and obviously the World Cup, but I was no, this is the whole hog. America is great. And look how normal it is to have football here.
Yeah. Although I didn't see the Qataris getting booed like that when they worked out on the stage in Qatar for the World Cup. I mean, the boos were ringing out when he came out, and that first kind of perp walk that he had, where he was walking out, and then the boos ring out, and you could see from the footage I saw, they were booing, and then would stop, and then would start up again. Presumably, when the big screen would pick him up, that they're that he's back on screen. Sure, I mean, we won't get into it, but you have to imagine that there's people in that stadium who've had family members deported in the last 6 weeks.
At least threatened to be rounded up, 100%. If any of them were from California, the army was on the street last week.
A notable absence from any California games happening at this World Cup. I know you spotted that, but no California games. Yeah, I mean, I guess the football, we're getting a bit political now. We are. And that's not us. That's not what we do best. We analyze and break down tactical analysis in football. Chelsea, like I said, the most winningest club of all time. When you think about even how long it took them to win the Premier League, from the Abramovich money, won immediately. First year, won immediately. 2004 to 2012, was that 6 years to win the Champions League?
It was 8 years, yeah.
What did I say? 6 years? No, yeah. 2004 plus 6, 2010. Yeah, 20, sorry. Yeah, 2012, sorry. 2012. I said 2012. Anyways, 8 years to win it. Conference League won it second year?
Was this their first year in it?
Well, the first year of the Conference League, I'm saying. Like the the third year of it, they've won it. Basically, they win these things immediately. They've won the Club World. They won the previous version of the Club World Cup, which was like during the season and an absolute pain for people. But they won it. You know. The real question is now: can this team win the Premier League going into the 25-26 season? I mean, they had to have shot up the odds, surely.
Yeah, I would say they have, but I think the issue is going to be, is any team that went far in the Club World Cup going to have a chance of winning the Premier League? Because you have to think there's injuries coming. Like, a lot of these players played 80 games, you know what I mean? They've been playing from July to July, some of them. So, I don't know. I think it'll be the likes of like Liverpool or maybe even Arsenal or something again, just because they've had a month off. You know, that extra month off means a lot, I think.
And if Arsenal's, rumored transfers all come through, which in my experience they always do every single time. If your club is linked to a big player, it always happens. Not one of them ever falls through. But I mean, they have bought a few. Like they bought man from Brentford. They bought Norwood. Is it Norwood? Norgard. I knew it was Norse. Yeah. I was like Norking. Is he? He's Danish, isn't he? Norgard, which I guess is cover for some of their departed midfielders. They got Madueke. Is that done yet or no?
I think that was nearly done.
See, that's one of those ones that I think going to fall through. That's
yeah, because we had mentioned that on the last Patreon episode or Ultras episode, where it was like, a lot of people don't seem happy that online. And at the end of the episode, like, oh, here we go from Fabrizio Romano. Immediately, huge campaign and like online, what are they called? Not surveys, petitions to like hashtag get Madueke out or don't sign Madueke, whatever. Arteta, I don't know if you saw this. There's a mural of Arteta outside the stadium. That was very crudely spray painted over with some a certain C word plastered over it.
I guess people are looking at that and thinking this is going to be Willian all over again. A guy who's, no longer wanted by Chelsea, but I would like to stay in London. I think that'd be nice. It's like, well, fuck off to Fulham then, Yeah, who has Gyoikers rumored, not done.
Yeah.
I've seen both things. I've seen like it's basically done, and then it's like deal in massive jeopardy. So God knows that's going to happen. But yeah, Dame and Liverpool, I guess, would be. Liverpool obviously have had that. Maybe we should say this for the preview pod, but I mean, having one of your teammates die is like going to be absolutely really tough to just go back to work. You know what I mean? Like it's your teammate, your friend. I mean, it's going to be an absolute killer for them in terms of like just. It's not going to be easy for them at all.
I've seen some people say like, oh, Liverpool, this will galvanize them. They'll do it for Jota and stuff. It's like, in movies, yeah. Like in the real world, that's probably not how it works. Some players, maybe, yeah, it will galvanize them. Like, I will do everything in my power to win this for my friend. Other players are going to be grieving too hard to be like,
yeah,
I couldn't give a fuck about Premier League football. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what it is? It's like when you go to gamble on a game. And it's like, yeah, this team is much better than that team. Look at the form. Yeah. But then there's so many variables between the 21 players in the pitch. You don't know what's going on in their own lives, how they're dealing with this. It's like, yeah, you think, oh yeah, they'll all just galvanize. Like it's not one person. Not that you even know that one person, but like, you know what I mean? It's like there's so many variables. You don't know how they're going to react. Some people might like, bury it and go to work, and then like half of the season might all hit them at once. You just don't know. So I mean, it's going to be really hard to see how Liverpool deal with that. You won't know till it happens, I guess, but you have to kind of give them all those allowances. Arsenal, like I say, it depends. Maybe they'll bring in too many players, and then you can't bet them in. Yeah, classic problem.
They got a Mosquera from Wolves today as well. Literally every day now, I see a new Arsenal. Here we go. So, like I said, to the point where it's like, this is too much now. Now you're like, or do they all speak the same language? Are they all going to get on?
Yeah. City, of course, they spent a lot of money. They have gone far enough in the Club World Cup. They got knocked out by Al Hilal early enough. They're probably on holidays now for a bit, and then they'll come back for a shortened preseason, I would imagine. But they're probably in a good position, I would say, City, just because they're City and because they've had a pretty good competition, like warm, like in terms of a preseason competition, obviously they would have maybe liked the break first, but they'll take the 2 weeks in Dubai or whatever the fuck, and then they'll come back and do a few kind of tours of wherever, and then they'll be at it again.
Right
So
back in,
yeah, I mean, looking at that Chelsea team, just in terms of if they'll win it, I did see Reece James in the midfield, which I think, from what I can tell, Will, he was doing like a man-marking job on Fabian Ruiz.
Hey,
Just trying to put him out, which is great, but the only problem with Reece James is that, like, I don't know if I've ever seen him play a full season.
it's very rare players like that who are like very injury prone, big injuries every season as well. It's very rare that it's just like, and then that was the end of it, and he played for the rest of his career, no problems. It's like it never really goes.
Yeah, it's you don't really seem to figure it out.
Yeah,
It's not like a skill issue. It's like it's something with the body. Because again, the professional athletes were like some of the best sports performance doctors in the world, or whatever the fuck. And then it's like, yeah, injured again, muscle injury. I don't know what's going on, And then at 26 to go, I just wasn't doing the stretches I was told to do. But now I'm going to do them. It's like, it's not that, it's not they're just not trying, so.
something snaps and you can't unsnap it. That's usually what it is.
Yeah. But if Yao Pedro starts scoring 25 goals a season, that'll get them a lot of the way where they were before. That'll cover a lot of those cracks that need to be covered.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Is that like I said, I don't think they'll win the league because I'd say a lot of fatigue and injuries are going to come into play. But if ever there was a club that can deal with it, it is Chelsea. Like we said, they have 5 people in every position. There's lads there who we probably haven't even seen yet who are amazing. You know what I mean? And they're on 9-year deals. Just wait to pounce.
Yeah, unreleased models of Chelsea players just ready to hit the shelves. We didn't talk about Cucurella, actually. He's building a reputation as one of the best shithouses in football ever, I think.
He gets people going.
He gets people riled up. He's kind of small and jinky, and he has a big mop of hair that's just asking to be yanked at, asking to be grabbed. I mean, that's one thing you might say for this PSG team. Maybe in this competition, when the going got tough, Will, they got 3 players sent off in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
They're missing Pacho and who else was it? Hernandez. Both got sent off against Bayern Munich. And then this game, Cucurella, who's done to many players, wound up Yao Neves and got him sent off. Which again, it was then 3 against 2 in the middle, so it made it easier for that Chelsea midfield to shut down Fabian Ruiz. But yeah, I mean, he's got that X factor when it comes to riling people up. I think it's his whole physicality does it.
Everything about
it's
it.
just like
his face, the name, all of it. Just it gets you really annoyed.
Yeah, I mean this World Cup. Club World Cup win, it's a testament to Brighton's recruitment, really, when you think about how many Brighton players were on the pitch for Chelsea there today.
That's what Chelsea have done. That's been their model since Todd Bowley came in, is just take whatever Brighton have. Take all their staff, take the coaches, take their manager. If it doesn't work, we'll get rid of him, but keep taking the players. Whatever they're on, we'll double it, get them in. It makes sense. If you have all the money, why not just do that? Just take from a different club is already doing it. Why would you bother setting it up?
I mean, Liverpool bought all those Southampton players and then they won the Champions League and the league.
It's a good system if you can afford it.
There was a stat there for a while that Liverpool had bought every single Southampton player that had scored against them in Liverpool.
That is mad.
They just it's like a very easily read system, but it's like, well, what are you going to do? Pay more? No. Well then, not a bad system if it works. So, yeah. I mean, that some of those players included like Ricky Lambert and Nathaniel Klein, but then they also included Sadio Mane and Virgil van Dijk. So, I mean, there's going to be good ones and bad ones, but ultimately, it's going to work. They're good players.
I mean, I wonder are Brighton now phasing out of that phase of club, and who's the next club to be picked up? I suppose actually Brentford. It's happening to them right now as we speak.
It could be. I mean, you do think, like Southampton, it can't go on forever. Although I think with Southampton, they did get a few diamonds in the rough. The likes of, say, Lallana, another Southampton to Liverpool player. I think he came from Bournemouth, and was just kind of one of these, like, you know, maybe he's too small for the Premier League kind of thing. I think they bought him in the Championship, but whatever, you know, they saw the value where other people didn't. But I think a lot of it was they produced a lot of the players, or they got them in young, like say Walcott obviously isn't from, I don't think he is from Southampton, but Bale is obviously Welsh. He was in the Southampton Academy. Oxlade-Chamberlain. You know, they developed a lot of these kind of youth players, and they got into the senior team, and then they were sold on and stuff like that. But Brighton do seem to have, they just, I don't know. Again, it's not Moneyball; it's the opposite of Moneyball. That's not. If you haven't heard the previous episodes, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I guess they sold out Pedro, and they're going to sell Evan Ferguson. But Welbeck seems to be doing enough, so it's like, well, look, we have Welbeck. Who else do we really need once you have him?
And I mean, like, the way the Premier League is now, it's nearly like a foregone thing. Unless you actively say, fuck it, this might ruin the club, it might bankrupt us, but we're really going to go for it and try to get fourth. Seems like if you can just like get 7th, 8th every year, that's a lot of money. And like over the years, you can very gradually move up to 5th, maybe, or 4th. Like, but I don't think there's any harm in Brian just being like, Welbeck will do for this season. At least no one's going to take him.
Yeah, like another club would say, you had someone as good as João Pedro and you didn't even get, you know, close to 4th. It was like, you know, Brighton, like, that was never the point. You know, that was never, you know, even though he's good enough for a top 4 team or whatever, it's like, that's not really the objective. It's to, like Moneyball, it's like you're trying to get players on base. You're trying to get, you know, 10 goals a season. You're not trying to get 50 goals a season. You're trying to get 10 goals a season from 3 players, and that's all you need to do.
I think I might have talked about this on the show before, but I remember I was in work one day on my break, and there was horse racing on, and there was an interview with the owner of Brighton, who also owned a horse at the thing. And at the end of the interview, it was a quote that I never heard since, but when I heard it there, I was like, wow, that's mad to actually hear. So the interviewer asked the owner, is like, so Brighton, do you think one day, you know, you've just won the big one here, do you think you can win the Premier League, win the big one there? And the Brighton owner flat out was like, oh God, no, we'll never reach that height with the way things are.
Yeah, that's it.
Because it's like, they're not even interested, like, as if, man.
No, because he's just like, it's a passive income for him. That's what Brighton is, you know. A little bit of income here from that, a little bit of money from the horse racing, a little bit of money from his hedge fund, perhaps.
60 million from João Pedro.
You know,
yeah.
just it's like little streams of income from him. He's not trying to win it all, which, you know, I guess that's the thing as well with Brighton fans. Like, can you believe in the Premier League? You know, because it's like,
yeah.
And I do remember when they got promoted in like 2018, they did like that. Those, you know, they go down to those smaller sized areas who have clubs in the Premier League, like they did with Ipswich, or not Ipswich, Luton. Remember, look at these guys' fucking stadium. You know,
can you believe losers play here?
So they did the same thing with Brighton, and everyone on the street's like, yeah, it's actually insane. You know, we're going to be playing against Man United like next week. That's unbelievable.
Little did they know they'd beat them, I think, 7 times in a row now.
I just used Man United as like the biggest thing. I forgot. I wasn't even bring that up, Will. But yeah, like that's the thing. It's like when you get the few scalps, you play good stuff, you produce these players that no one's ever heard of. Like, who the hell is Purvis Estupiñán? It's like, cool, you know, he's our player now. And then you sell him on for 60 million, and then you buy, you know, 3 other, you know, Guatemalans or whatever the fuck, you know, and you still manage to beat, you know, Liverpool on your day. It's great. There's no like, we need to do more, you know, there's none of that kind of like, we need to build for the next year. It's like, it's just like, this is great, there's some good stuff, ticket prices aren't insane, you know, all good. That's it's a good situation to be in, and the owner gets his passive income company or whatever his grand plan is. But yeah, credit to Brighton. Congratulations on your Club World Cup. That's the takeaway here. Yeah, I guess speaking of interviews with owners, how about owners of countries?
Of the free world, baby.
Owners of the free world. I mean, the whole Trump thing, it was very much like the Qatari thing. It's like, this guy,
yeah,
he's democratically elected, you say? Why is everybody booing? Why, who are they? I mean, I think the first thing we should do is play the clip, and this is relevant to the coming Premier League season. As we know, there's going to be halftime interviews. This is Trump being interviewed at halftime, and Look, he's in the know, Will. He's in the know. He's talked about the incredible first half performance by Chelsea and, amongst other things, Joe Biden.
Well, it's a big thing, and Johnny's a friend of mine. He's done such a great job with the league and with soccer, or they would call it football, but I guess we call it soccer. I'm not sure that change could be made very easily, but it's great to watch. And this is a little bit of an upset that we're watching today, isn't it? Huh?
No, not surprising.
So far, it's incredible.
What if we make an executive order? We can only say football from now on.
I think we could do that. I think I could do that.
You talk about winning. You talk about making America the greatest again. Do you see any instance in where America could start dominating in football on a global stage?
Well, I can tell you we're doing very well on the other stage, on the political stage, on the financial stage. I was just in Saudi Arabia. I was in Qatar. I was in UAE. Here we have Qatar and, the big presence they have. But all of the leaders, and then you look at NATO, all of the leaders said a year ago your country was dead, and now you have the hottest country in the world. There's a lot of truth to that. We were doing very badly as a country. We had an incompetent administration.
I do think we'll be doing well if we get a halftime interview a quarter as entertaining in the Premier League this season.
Oh yeah. Well, that's every other person really. Since Kevin Keegan basically in an interview has been like, right, say nothing as boringly as possible, and hopefully everybody will switch off. It will show up. He just shoots from the hip, says what he wants. Maybe pushes out some of his agendas, like the last regime. Don't forget how bad they were. Remember, I'm really good, they're really bad. That's the message here. All right, that's the end of this interview. And Pele the goat.
Pele, whatever you want to call him.
I want to ask you, who is your GOAT, your greatest of all time?
In this sport, you're talking about, not in another sport, in this sport. Well,
If you want to give us all your GOATs, go ahead.
So many years ago, when I was young, they brought a player named Pele to play. And he played for a team called the Cosmos. And Steve Ross, a friend of mine, Warner Communications, he was the inspiration we had. And this place was packed. It was an earlier version of this stadium, but right here in the Meadowlands. And it was Pele. I don't want to date myself, but that was a long time ago. I was a young guy. And I came to watch Pele, and he was fantastic. And I'd say probably I'll go old-fashioned. That's like saying Babe Ruth, but I would say Pele was so great.
Yeah, I guess that's an oldie, like saying Babe Ruth. It's like, is that your go to baseball? Does he even watch sports, you think? I don't think he watches sports. I don't think he cares at all.
I don't think, it feels strange for him to get into sport, or when he's asked who his GOAT is, his answer is himself. You know what I mean? He's not the type of guy who's like, great for them. I'm so happy they've, he's always thinking, when's it got to be me? When do I win here?
Yeah, the whole point of sport or supporting a team is being part of something bigger than yourself. And I really don't think he can grasp that concept of something being bigger than himself. So yeah, the GOAT of sports is this sport, any sports, it's like struggling for a name he can think of.
Desperately thinking of a player, yeah.
I wish he'd said a completely random one
Air Bud.
A long time ago, I watched the Air Bud films, and
really bad, terrible film.
Jason Statham and Mean Machine was a revelation. No, look, we'll save our Mean Machine reviews for later on in the week. But I mean, that was the halftime, but he wasn't done there. You might think I thought he mightn't come at all, to be honest. Because again, I thought he's got no interest in this. I don't know what's in it for him. It'd be interesting now. It seems as he got such a kind of hostile reception from the fans. Maybe just testing the waters for the World Cup coming up.
I feel like though he's the type of guy who his best pal Vince McMahon. Any reaction is a reaction. All he wants is people to care, whether they hate him or love him. I'd say he couldn't care less if he's booed. I'd say he's great. They're talking about me. They love me. They're looking. I'm the star. Even though I'm the bad guy, I'm still the star.
Yeah, I think secretly maybe. I mean, publicly he'd be like, I didn't hear any boos.
Yeah.
He just completely in denial about it. But
they were booing soccer.
They were booing the terrible, pathetic PSG performance. I mean, Neves, what was he thinking? No, I mean, I think the booing was whatever, but the real show was the after the game where like Chelsea win, everyone's fucking has heat stroke, whatever. There was like a scuffle after the game, and then you wait for Trump to come out with his good friend Johnny on the spot.
I love Johnny
with the replica trophy, as Trump explained to us.
That's right. They said, "Could you hold this trophy for a little while?" We put it in the Oval Office, and then I said, "When are you going to pick up the trophy?" He says, "We're never going to pick it up. You can have it forever in the Oval Office. We're making a new one." And they actually made a new one. So that was quite exciting, but it's in the Oval. Right now it's in the Oval.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll come see it.
Good.
He definitely shouldn't have said that.
No.
I mean, I say he shouldn't have said that, but what's anybody going to do? I mean, this is like it's a preseason tournament, whatever. He has the real trophy. This is a fake trophy he's now bringing out to the players. And this is what I mean about, like, he's not a sports guy. He doesn't watch sports because he had no idea what to do when he got up there.
Yeah, no, he thinks, is this a photo with the trophy? Like, he doesn't know what's about to happen. He's standing there clapping. No, I like we said, he's not an idiot. He knows what he's doing. He likes being the center of things. But it does make him look kind of like a confused old man when Johnny Infantino is like, "Come on, we have to go," and he's just like smiling, standing there with Cole Palmer behind him, like openly pointing and going, "Why is he here? Don't lift it. He's still here."
Yeah. The Cole Palmer reaction, that was the best. Sometimes that do it in TV shows where there's like a kind of a character who's meant to be you, and you're meant to be.
Yeah.
He experiences this crazy world as you would experience it. Cole Palmer was that person. Is like where he's like, is this guy? This is where we lift the trophy. This is the part where you present the trophy and you fuck off stage. But again, Trump out there's like, I've been here. I've been to a million of these things. This is what we call a photo op in the business.
Yeah, exactly,
I'm on stage. Yeah. I'm in the center. Everyone cheers at me. Is there a ribbon that I have to cut? Is that what's going to happen next? He has no concept of what sport is really. He's just thinking this is a public appearance. I've done them a million times. Let's get the photo and get out of here. Because like he gives a trophy to Reece James. He was like confusedly like looking over, like what's He was having a good conversation with Sanchez, actually, the goalkeeper.
Because I would love to know what they were saying to each other. Because I would imagine Sanchez was saying something along the lines of, "Are you staying for the trophy lift?"
And he said, "You speak English very well.
You're a great goalkeeper, huge goalkeeper."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're a phenomenal goalkeeper. You had a great performance out there. That's what he was saying. And Sanchez was like, yeah. What? And then Cole Palmer was like, "What's he doing here? Is he not meant to leave?" I mean, almost angrily confused. Great.
I literally, when I saw that clip of Palmer, I was like, it's amazing, because I think if that was me, I'd be thinking that, but I'd be like, don't be on camera like pointing angrily at Trump. Like, God knows what can come of you if you do that, or what he'll say about you or anything. But I did see an amazing comment on a picture of Palmer being handed the player of the tournament trophy from Trump. The top comment read, "Neither of these men have any idea who the other is."
Yeah, you got that sense with Cole Palmer that there was like no fear. It's a genuine kind of like, who the fuck is this and what's he on the stage? Because like he gives a trophy and Johnny walks off, and then as they start cheering, Johnny comes back in to say to Trump, "Hey, you have to get off here now." But yeah, no, it was great, because even like the Qataris, when they put the bisht on Messi, which everyone's kind of like, all right, this is. Can't we just pretend this isn't happening?
This is way worse.
You get a rub in their faces, but like even they like had watched sport enough to like, all right, and he wears a thing, we're on stage, and then they can, snipe at the trophy. But like Trump didn't even have that, didn't even know that, didn't even know what to do. Just like, yeah, I guess we're all on stage together here. So yeah, I've never seen anything like that. I've seen, like I say, you've seen maybe worse things, in worse countries, but that was a first to see the president of the country, who usually like they don't want to be there. They don't want this is just the thing I have to do. Where he was like, I guess we're on stage for the night. It's like,
I love being on stage and in photos.
Yeah, get him off. Yeah. So I mean, what are the takeaways from the Club World Cup? Well, is this now the premier club competition in the world. I mean, with €1 billion on the line, I mean, it'd have to be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think some clubs seem like, I'm sure Chelsea were very tuned into it, and like, it felt like the Brazilian teams were very tuned into it. They really gave it a good go. But I do think over the next few years, as these become more common and they're happening more, we are going to see a shift in things. I think you're going to see a lot of teams kind of packing in the league come January, but really coming good the last 2 weeks of May, because we need to be in tip-top shape for this Club World Cup, lads. Because I have the prize money per club here, and Chelsea won 142 million, says US dollars. So I don't know what that is in pounds. But I did see it's 30 million pounds less than the Premier League winners won, which think Premier League's 38 games and really hard to win. This is 7 games. Yeah, in the later stages you're playing like PSG or Bayern or whoever. But I mean, in the group stage, you're playing Auckland, for example, who are a semi-professional team. Like, you can get to the knockouts pretty simply, I think.
Yeah, whatever win the whole thing, there's more money to be made along the way than there is to finish 6th or 7th in the Premier League, which is a very tough thing to do.
Yeah,
you know,
and like, even say Man City, they got knocked out early, embarrassingly earlier. It felt like, I think it was the first set of knockout games, maybe the second. They got $50 million just for showing up. Really, you know what I mean? Like, they could have gone even easier. They could have really taken the fall, and they still would have gotten like 40 to 50 million pounds just for being there. So I do think, just the way things are, I'd say the owners are really going to be pushing managers and teams to be like, this is the one we care about. Who gives a fuck about the FA Cup?
Yeah. Well, especially the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, and we've seen this like slowly coming in over the years of like the kind of, yeah, it would be nice to win a trophy, but I mean, I just think 4th is kind of a trophy in itself in a way. You know, I was like, that's not really coming from like the football men of the club. That's coming from the powers that be saying that is worth your job, pal. So you get us 4th and you keep your job. If you don't, we don't care about the Carabao Cup. Okay, we don't care about the trophies. We're trying to be profitable. So yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It's £1 billion this year, or whatever, how much money is into it. Next year, with a bit more sponsors, a bit more money, it might be 30 million more than win the Premier League. So I mean, we've seen the money dictate what clubs do, and it is a trophy, and it is whatever. I guess the only thing is that a lot of teams in it, you need a big country to host this, and I mean like a country with lots of stadiums, and also you need a country that like is not bound by county councils, we'll say, complaints committees, people who like live there and have a voice. So like autocratic states essentially, like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and those countries, for whatever reason, maybe is the heat is connected to it, but they are very hot in the summer. Like America was insane this summer. So many games delayed by hours. You had intense heat and thunderstorms. Qatar and Saudi Arabia, obviously the World Cup we just had in Qatar was in the winter because it was too hot in the summer. The technology of cool stadiums didn't exist. Maybe they thought they would invent it before the tournament. I don't know if they've invented it since, but if you try and think of like autocratic states that can host a tournament like this and everyone can be unhappy and who cares, I can't think of many ones with like good climates in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, but it does seem like the type of thing where, because there's so much money on the line, I can see them slotting this into December and be like, yeah, work it around it, Premier League, sort it out yourselves. Like, we don't care. I feels like one of those tournaments where it's like, this is going to disrupt things in a major way.
Yeah,
and even
that's what I mean, yeah.
To the point where, like, I don't know how many teams, I'm assuming it was like 32 teams in it this season, say. I could easily see them being like, why not let more teams in? Why not let 5 teams from the Premier League in? Why not let 5?
Yeah.
Like, and I do think this is like it's the Super League essentially, but this is it's an inching towards it rather than going all out straight away.
Well, an indication of that is that Sefrin, the president of UEFA, did not attend this tournament at all. Well, he had no, he was not going to give it his seal of approval by attending, co-signing it by going to it. If it does, like say, if you can't play during the summer, but clubs are like, I want €1 billion. That sounds good to me.
That sounds
you
good,
know,
yeah.
then something will have to make like the calendar. Like we keep hearing about this for the last like 3 or 4 years. Like it's at capacity, you know. And now they're adding another one in. I know it's going to be every 4 years. I think it's every 4 years is competition. So, you know, it might. Don't worry about the next 3 years. But when it happens, I mean, if you're going to slot into the normal the footballing season, there's going to be either the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup or maybe the Champions League itself. We'll have to take a back seat. Like it could be a case where, you know, if there's more money in the Club World Cup, say, listen, we're not playing Champions League this year. We think we got a pretty good draw against mainly Australian plumbers, so we're gonna go with this actually this year. You know, and that's when it'll come to a head.
Yeah, and I do think it could be a shift in things as well in just how like squads are put together, which we've seen already of like stockpiling players and stuff. But I mean, like Chelsea are the ultimate. They had so many players. They had lads changing in the hallways. Remember that story when Graham Potter first signed? But like, look what's happened now. They won this because they had so many players to pull from. They were signing players while the tournament was going on because they're like, get more in. Why not? We're going to pay them back at the end of the summer. So,
well, the why not is that if UEFA, then a different. Are they connected? Are FIFA and UEFA kind of competitors now? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like if UEFA are like, well, you can only have X amount in the squad, and they're saying, oh, well, we need this for the Club World Cup. And then UEFA are saying, well, we don't recognize the Club World Cup. Then the clubs will have to say, okay, well, what do you want to be part of? Do you want to be part of FIFA? Are you going to like recuse yourself from the Champions League? Are you going you are kind of forcing a Super League if you make clubs pick between two competitions that are, you know, outside of each other's rules. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think we all kind of looked at this and went, oh, some kind of glorified preseason. But, you know, everything is just a glorified something. You know, it's, if there's enough money, then like, yeah, glorified up. You know, I'm interested. Like, I don't know.
It's funny though, because it feels like this is maybe the first tournament, apart from like I said, the odd preseason tournaments, which are like the Audi Cup or whatever. This feels like the first tournament that I've ever seen where like a lot of football fans, it's not for the fans. This is for the owners. Do you know what I mean? Like, who cares if there's anyone in the stadium watching the games? We're making fucking 50 million quid for being here today.
Well, eventually the sponsors will care, I guess, if no one's watching the games. I don't know if you saw that. Like that was a weird thing. That interview we played, the reporter listed off some pretty insane numbers. I mean, I know like the world's bigger than my own circle, but I didn't really feel like, you know, a lot of people were watching it. But according to her, there's millions of people who were packing out these stadiums, which I don't know if that was happening. You know,
No,
but like
I saw empty stadiums. That was the thing.
yeah, so like there is a bit of like kind of I don't know, like because sponsors, you know, they do like to just pay money for things. I feel, you know, they don't always check, you know, who's downloading it, who's watching it. So the zone are like obviously it's in their interest to say, oh yeah, everyone's watching this. We're making a lot of viewers on here. Your sponsorship money is going to good use.
There's 700 million views across social media. Yeah.
Yeah. You just use the social media things. Impressions, you know. What is an impression? You know? Think a 50-year-old CEO of some company knows what an impression is?
No. And like, it's funny because they're saying about like the stadiums were packed and stuff. But I think.
Yeah. I flew over the stadiums. It was packed. It's like, well, if Trump said it, it couldn't possibly be a lie, you know?
But even if the stadiums were full, I mean, that was a big story that they could not sell tickets. So the prices were dropping and dropping and then they were giving them away. Which again, mentioned already, Vince McMahon, it's a pure wrestling thing. No one's going to your show, give away the tickets for free. And then on TV you go, there's 70,000 people sold out.
Yeah, sold out. And I suppose if you're a sponsor, then it's like, well, if they're in the stadium, they're working the ad. So I guess it does work in the end. But yeah, I don't know. I think if there's enough money in it, it'll take over, you know, because that's what Champions League is really. I mean, the Champions League seems old to us, but like it started in what, like 1950 or some shit? No, well, it used to be the European Cup. And then they rebranded this in 92.
Everyone hated that. You know what I mean?
I bet they did. And we hated the changes last year. Like, why are they changing it? You know, it's so perfect. These things are all just competitions made up by someone's like, I think we can make even more money somehow. You know?
Premier League.
The Premier League, another one, went from Division 1 to like needs a rebrand, needs less teams, and needs better music. and needs less scandal, whatever it takes to make more money. So, yeah, I think the Club World Cup is here to stay, and I think they might do some kind of thing every 2 years, a different competition as to try and
this
get
is
it going.
coming. I mean, they can't do it every year because obviously there's the Euros and the World Cup. Although I'm sure they'd love to fuck off the Euros and just do the World Cup in this year after year. But like, I would say we're getting this every 2 years, pretty soon, if not within the next 2 years.
Do you think FIFA? Well, that's the thing, because we always hear about the World Cup. It's like it loses the country's money. You have to invest so much into it. Is that like phase 2? Careful, Will. Before you go any further, get your tinfoil hat on, okay? Because I'm about to say some mad shit here.
Yeah.
As if it's already on underneath my hair. Yeah, like, I mean, is that what FIFA really wants? That they're trying to get rid of international football altogether, get rid of the World Cup. The Club World Cup is now the real World Cup. That old countries. What is a country? What even is a country? Who are? Aren't we just people of the world? Aren't we all humans who play for clubs?
I mean, I think as well, like, say the likes of Saudi Arabia, I think Saudi Arabia owned DAZN, who are the prime, the only people who showed this. So, like, you have to think them for the World Cup. It's like, I know we beat Argentina in the last one. Didn't really like all those other countries beating us on the world's biggest stage of football. Maybe we could stop that. And maybe we just run football through the clubs.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's definitely financial incentives to wiping out international football, Will. Maybe we've struck upon something here, but we are getting quite down the rabbit hole of just baseless conspiracy now that Gianni Infantino, who, I mean, Jesus, I remember Gianni Infantino used to be the guy who did the draws. So he was just the draw guy. And everyone's like, this Sepp Blatter guy's got to go. There must be somebody better than Sepp Blatter who's less corrupt and less awful. And now he got this fucking like white shoes wearing fucking suck up who just loves like dictators, just like loves them. Can't get enough of these guys who run things.
And you just know, I mean, that happens. If you follow Trump at all over the years, he always has guys like this who are like, hey, it's his new best pal and his new suck up. Guess what? Johnny's going to do something Trump doesn't like soon, within the next year or two, and Johnny's gone. No more Johnny.
Johnny, yeah. I mean, the thing is with Trump is that he could just decide like 3 months before the World Cup, you know what? I don't like this. I don't want this to happen anymore.
I didn't like getting booed. Didn't care for that, actually.
I'm calling this off. We're not doing it. Yeah, Trump could just decide where it's like, it's not happening. So I guess he's like trying to be as close as possible, putting the FIFA, office in Trump Tower, trying to like just like get his tentacles in there, or makes it harder and harder for Trump to just sack it off. If he was just being normal and like they had nothing to do with America, it would make it quite easy for Trump to go, I cut ties, don't want to do it anymore. There's nothing. It's like, what about the office in your Trump Tower? It's like, well, I guess legally we can't evict them, can we? Or, like it just any kind of barrier to like, Johnny. But yeah, look, we'll see how it goes. That's 2026, the World Cup in America, isn't it?
That's next
year?
Yeah, next year, yeah.
Watch that space, folks. Watch the executive order where football is banned. Soccer.
The Club World Cup does have an element to it that a lot of tournaments don't, where it's like a circus. Do you know what I mean? It's like, the football is one thing, but it's like, whoa, look at all these fireworks. Whoa, look at the 8K camera. What's Trump doing here? There's a lot going on to keep your attention.
Yeah, well, that's, part of it as well. It's like the whole kind of Americanization of the sport where it's like, and they've been doing this for a while now, even before the whole Club World Cup and Trump, like the halftime shows, which everyone's like, who is this for? And like, it's for the people who don't like soccer, who I kind of think of it as like music festivals. I mean, there's so much else to do at music festival now than just the bands. Like, so you could go and not want to see anybody, and you might watch music all weekend, but there's like all these different like cuisines around the world. There's like arts and crafts tents. There's like, like hot tubs and relaxation. It's like, it's a full kind of like amusement park almost. It's like, wasn't this meant to be like a music festival instead? Like football, I guess, there's going to be 90 minutes in there where you're sat in the stadium, watching the game. But I mean, if the stadium is big enough, if there's enough money pumped into it, there could be hot tubs, all around. People could pay into the general area. Some people can watch football, other people can,
do the arts
eat,
and crafts.
arts and crafts, eat some falafel, whatever it was. That's what these people want to do to the game. They wanted to okay, we have the football people. They're not going anywhere. We've tried everything and they're still here, so we have them. Now we'll try and bring in, people who don't even like football, get them to pay €90 into a game, maybe even a season ticket holder, and they can use the hot tub every week. Whatever it is. So that's not going to go anywhere either. All these hot tub shows and all the rest of it. Just also a quick word for Chris Martin. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see. I didn't see Chris Martin.
Well, he was the music coordinator for the Club World Cup.
Okay, of course, yes, needed.
Well, he was getting the artists, and I guess it makes sense because he's a big name in the industry. If Coldplay call you up, yeah, I mean maybe this is a big gig,
Coldplay are calling me. Yeah.
He made a surprise decision, Will, to put himself in. I found the perfect guy, me. Which I was just thinking of his cameo on Extras years and years ago, where he pretends to be this kind of obnoxious dude who keeps promoting his album during the charity event, and now it's how much of that was an act? He just drew on well, I probably would do that if I had the chance. Here we are. It's
why would I give it to a different band? It makes no sense. There's how many people watching? Obviously, I'm going to give it to me.
But it's not he's famous, he's rich, he's got it all. But it's but I could play. I would quite like to play, and no moral hang-ups about Trump or that. It's just,
no, it doesn't care. Yeah.
No, it doesn't care. Which is literally the whole character he played in Extras. Which I just thought that's very funny. That he's not above that, he's gotten worse as he got older. He hasn't seen, he's maybe at one time he would have thought that was cringe, but now he thinks, actually, why not? Why wouldn't I do that? So yeah, great stuff from Chris Martin as well. So shout out to him. Congratulations to him as well on his performance.
Congratulations, Chris. Yeah, congratulations to you and Brighton.
For anybody who was listening to this hoping this was going to be a movie pod,
they're still waiting. Wait, are they going to do Meme Machine after the Club World Cup?
Yeah, we're going to do Meme Machine on the Ultra channel, Ultras only Meme Machine. Just if there's a final on of clubs,
we should probably talk about it. Yeah.
I mean, the name of the players. We're probably going to be a little bit more interested in that than Meme Machine. But we will do Meme Machine review. You couldn't write it. Friday, Football Friday. Remember, movie Monday, Football Friday. Yeah. We're switching around.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we're gonna do that for a week. You gotta be an ultra to listen to that though. $4.50 a month. Sign up, you get all the extra bonus episodes. During the week, we'll have the reaction to the match of the weekend, but then during the week on the Ultra channel, it could be Club World Cup, depending on when that comes on. It could be FA Cup, Champions League, Club Euros. Whatever's down the line,
Yeah.
that's happening in the days in between Monday and Friday, where the players will have to play, then that's what we'll be covering on the Ultra channel. So we do a bonus episode every week, basically. So yeah, you want to get on that, as I say, link in the description of this episode. That about does it, Will. I mean, there's one more thing that you want to say?
Yeah, there is another link in the description. Something else we've set up. Because we're coming into the new season in a few weeks. Was it 4 weeks away or something? There is a fan survey. We want to hear from you. We always say, give us feedback. Let us know. But I totally understand. I'm not commenting on any podcasts either. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. So we've set up a little survey here. The questions are all there. It takes about 2 minutes to fill out. It's totally anonymous. You can tear us apart. If you're someone who dips in and out of the pod, perfect, because then you are the ones we're trying to capture. Or if you're a diehard listener and you want to just change some things,
we're trying to capture anybody. We're not trying to steal your attention. We're trying to ruin your life. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just some questions to see what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like change, things like that, so we can make the show better, especially coming into the new season with a fresh start. So the link is in the description or on our socials, wherever you'll find it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always open to the possibility that I'm completely wrong about something, and I think we have a fairly good idea of what works, what doesn't. But like you say, anything you want to add? I mean, the people who comment on stuff publicly, You know,
Careful.
I mean, I just find them very brave. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
So I feel like I think things like, yeah, that's a good thing to say, and then like later on, I go, I wish I hadn't said it. You know, all the time. So to write it down is like, you know, I just want to be like rock solid in that thought, which I rarely am. So yeah, this is a very easy way to just anonymously, you know, give your thoughts, and with a bit of prompts.
It's
as well.
not like, what? How do we fix it?
Yeah, tell us, help. That's what you usually like. Say that's after like anonymous emails for people to just write the show for us. This is yeah, just give us your likes and dislikes, I suppose, and either make confirm some of our thoughts or give us something to think about. But it's all there, and help us improve the show and make it easier and better for you to listen to. So yeah, until then, we will see the Ultras on Friday. For everyone else, we'll see you next week, where God knows what we'll talk about.
I have no idea. Could be back to the movies by like we have
back
to.
to
You
this.
never know.
We'll see. All right. Good luck.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.